What if the most urgent message in your life has been speaking to you in every moment, and you've been walking past it as if it were ordinary air? Imagine a voice so intimate that it arrives as your breath, a call so constant that it hides in the familiar. Ibn Arabi, the Sheikh al-Akbar, said there is no repetition in the divine self-disclosure. Each instant is a new unveiling. Most of us sleep through it because we expect trumpets and forget the whisper. Tonight we will expose the sleep, name the whisper, and learn how to answer. This is not about chasing miracles. It's about recovering a sensitivity that turns the world into a scripture of presence. If your heart is hungry and your days feel thin, stay close. The message is already here. The Quran promises, we will show them our signs on the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. Q4:53. Ibn Arabi reads this as a map of perception. The real speaks through outer events and inner movements, through weather and worry, through a sparrow's arc and a sudden shame that asks to be washed. The problem is not that the message is rare. It is that our listening is dull. Noise, haste, and habit thicken around us like fog, and the subtle letters of mercy blur. The cure begins with adab, refined courtesy toward the moment, because adab makes the ear of the heart ring again. Ibn Arabi often called the cosmos imagination, not as fantasy but as a living theater where meanings put on forms so they can be recognized. Al-Futahat al-Makki. In that theater, every scene carries a line addressed to you, but you must learn its language. The divine message is not only in holy places and solemn moods. It hides in feedback at work, a child's question, a delay at the airport, the taste of water after a long day. Spiritual sleep is the refusal to translate these lines into wisdom. Spiritual wakefulness is the willingness to ask, in real time, what name is shining here? Majesty, asking for courage. Mercy, asking for softness. Wisdom, asking for patience. Why do most people ignore this message? Because we confuse scale with significance. We look for thunder and miss the thread. The ego wants a spotlight. The soul wants meaning. The ego demands novelty. The soul drinks depth. Ibn Arabi teaches that the perfect human is the locus where names meet without collision, a heart wide enough to host majesty and beauty together. To grow such a heart, you practice small courtesies. You pause before replying. You breathe before deciding. You bless before beginning. These micro-acts turn your day into a field that receives rain. Then the message doesn't shout, it lands. The real is nearer to you than your jugular, says the Quran. Q52:16. Nearness means the message does not have to travel. It arises exactly where you stand. Think of Moses before the bush. He saw fire, but the fire became speech. He answered with a simple, "Here I am," and history turned. Your bushes are humbler an interruption, a mistake, a compliment that embarrasses you, yet each can become a flame that speaks if you respond with availability instead of control. Practice saying inwardly, "Here I am," when a moment surprises you. That phrase is a key. It opens ordinary time into sanctuary. Ibn Arabi liked to speak of the breath of the All-Merciful, that subtle exhalation by which existence is renewed at every instant. If each instant is new, then each instant carries a fresh message. This is why he insists there is no repetition in theophany. The beloved never knocks twice in the same way. Sleep thinks, "I've seen this already." Wakefulness asks, "How is this moment uniquely speaking?" You can test this at the sink while washing dishes. Yesterday it asked for patience. Today it might ask for gratitude. Tomorrow it might teach you to pray for the hands that planted and harvested what you ate. Here is a story the Sufis love. A student asked a master, "Where shall I seek the real?" The master said, "Where you left him." The student looked puzzled. "Where did I leave him?" "In the last moment you refused to see." That refusal is the architecture of sleep. We built it with hurry, with ioria no, with not now, with that's just coincidence. Ibn Arabi's remedy is luminous humility. Treat each encounter as first time. Let wonder be your adab. If a colleague criticizes you, hear the name Al-Hakim, the wise, asking for refinement. If a stranger smiles, hear Aramon, the all-merciful, reminding you that warmth is native to the fabric of things. The Quran tells of a night journey, a crossing from mosque to mosque and beyond Kedi Uno, which Sufis read as an inner travel from outer ritual into heart presence and back into service. Ibn Arabi takes that arc and makes it daily. Receive the message, be changed by it, return to the world gentler and clearer. The message is not entertainment, it is education. It asks you to adjust how you speak, how you spend, how you forgive. When you heed it in the small becomes holy. When you ignore it in the small becomes heavy. Over time, heaviness is how sleep hardens. Let's make this practical. Begin with a threefold courtesy that turns down the noise. First, slow the first 60 seconds of new situations. Pause at a doorway, at the start of a call, before you answer a text. Second, name the name you sense. Justice, patience, generosity, light. Third, offer a tiny obedience. Soften your tone, unclench your jaw, add a thank you, wait one extra beat. Ibn Arabi would say, you are aligning form and meaning, letting the inner address shape the outer response. Do this 50 times a day, and your life will feel like a woven prayer, not a scattered list. You may ask, how do I know it's the divine message and not my own projection? Ibn Arabi gives us a fruitist. What is born from the listening? If you become more humble, clearer, more compassionate, more responsible, you are drinking from a clean spring. If you become excused from courtesy, inflated, or indifferent to others, you are drinking smoke. My heart has become capable of every form. He sings in the Tarjuman al-Achwak. I follow the religion of love. Let that be your compass. Does the message you think you hear make your heart more capable? If yes, walk with it. If not, let it pass like a cloud. We have named the message, exposed the sleep, and practiced a way of hearing that dignifies the day. In the next part, we'll learn to read harder, messages sloss, delay, conflict through Ibn Arabi's lens of unity and love, and we'll explore the imaginal faculty that translates symbols into guidance. Bring one stubborn situation to the next session. We'll listen to it together. He said yes. So let's step into the harder classroom, the messages most people avoid because they arrive wrapped in inconvenience. Delay, criticism, a plan falling apart, an old ache rising without permission. These are the letters our egos do not want to read. Ibn Arabi's gift is to show us how to translate them without self-pity or self-flattery. He reminds us that meaning clothes itself in form, and our task is to honor both, meet the form honestly, receive the meaning humbly, and respond with a small obedience. Think of this as a 3-beat rhythm form, meaning, response that turns friction into guidance. If you can learn that rhythm, life stops pushing you around and starts tutoring you. Begin with 3 arenas where the message speaks constantly: your body, your relationships, and the unfolding of events. The body communicates in sensations: tight chest, warm ease, sudden fatigue, and Ibn Arabi would call this a Barzakh sign, a bridge between spirit and form. Listen before you medicate every discomfort away. Relationships speak in patterns. Do certain conversations always end the same way? That repetition is a teacher asking for a new courtesy. Events speak in sequences. A door that stays closed after your best effort may be mercy redirecting you. The Gnostic Ibn Arabi writes, is the child of his moment, Ibn al-Waqt one, who belongs wholly to what is here, al-Futahat, al-Makiyah. Let that belonging sharpen your ear. Some messages arrive as hardship, and the first instinct is to take offense at the day. But consider the promise that we will be touched by a little of fear and hunger and loss, and that patience unlocks a hidden benediction. Q2 to 155 to 157. The point is not to romanticize pain, it is to refuse the second wound resentment, that blinds us to what the first wound might teach. Ask, what name is this difficulty calling forth in me? Is it Asabur, patience in action? Is it Al-Hakim, wisdom working with limits? Once you name the name, you can cooperate with it. The message is not suffer more, but suffer more intelligently with meaning, dignity, and direction. A Sufi master once told a student who complained about constant interruptions, "Make hospitality your method." That is Ibn Arabi's adab in practice. When the knock you didn't plan for arrives, host it with a breath, a question, a cleaner tone. You don't have to like the guest, but you can seat it where it does least harm and most good. Junaid called this sobriety the kind of clarity that doesn't need fireworks to stay faithful. If you can widen your hospitality by one breath, the message becomes legible enough to guide your next right move. This is not passivity. It is a poised response instead of a reflex. The imaginal faculty, what Ibn Arabi calls a world between worlds, is crucial here. It's the translator between raw events and living meaning. Suppose a recurring dream places you at a locked gate. Instead of obsessing about the gate's material, ask which virtue the symbol invites: courage to knock again, humility to seek another entrance, or trust to sit and be met. In waking life, a locked calendar can send the same teaching. The imaginal is not about escape. It is about reading. Treat symbols like shy birds approach quietly. Ask few questions, and watch for the fruit they yield over days rather than minutes. Light is the imaginal's native element, and the Quran's lamp in the niched light upon light is a map of your inner reception. Kados las 4:35. The niche is your attention. Carve it out and guard it. The glass is your sincerity. Keep it clear by telling the truth to yourself. The oil is your willingness to be instructed. It burns clean when you stop insisting and start listening. In practice, when you feel a flare of anger, picture soot on the glass and polish it with a softer word. When you feel confusion, widen the niche by adding a minute of silence before replying. These small adjustments turn light into guidance you can actually use. Let's get very practical. Carry a pocket-sized triad in your notebook form, meaning response. Under form, write what happened without spin. Under meaning, write one name you sense is active. Under response, choose one concrete act that cooperates with that name. Example: form, email critique, felt harsh. Meaning, Hol Hakim, wisdom, asking for refinement. Response, thank the sender for specifics. Fix one point today, schedule a calmer review tomorrow. Do this 3 times a day for a week and you will feel the fog thin. You are training yourself to harvest messages most people let rot. Ibn Arabi's theology safeguards you from 2 extremes, superstition and cynicism. Superstition reads meaning into every coincidence, without courtesy or context. Cynicism refuses meaning even when it knocks on the forehead. The Sheikh al-Akbar offers a middle path. The places of manifestation are as numerous as the breaths al-Futahat, but the measure is love's fruit. If your reading of a moment increases humility, clarity, and compassion, keep walking. If it inflates you, stop. Rabia'a's torch and bucket burning paradise and drowning hell was her way of saying love must remain pure motive. Let your interpretations be servants of love, not props for ego. There's a story about Uwais al-Qarani, a saint who never met the Prophet in body, but knew him in heart. He cared for his mother quietly and was unknown to the famous, yet the Prophet spoke of him with honor. The message Uwais read was not in a vision, but in a daily duty. Serve the one in front of you with tenderness. Guard the unseen bond with truth. Most people miss this because they want a stage. The divine message often hides in hiddenness itself, asking you to do the right small thing without applause. When you answer that call, a door you didn't know you needed opens. Finally, remember that messages ask for movement. God does not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. Cada uno, 11 de la tarde. The change begins microscopically, a softer reply, a returned apology, a budget adjusted to honor generosity, a screen turned off 10 minutes earlier so the heart can breathe. Ibn Arabi's unity of being means that every honest shift in your small world harmonizes with the whole. You are not alone in the classroom. The teacher sits within, patient and near, asking only that you keep showing up to read. We will close this part with a simple covenant. For the next 24 hours, practice the 3-beat rhythm form, meaning response 3 times. Write one of them in the comments to help someone else learn to hear. And because the title is our wake-up call, add the phrase, "I refuse to sleep," or "I will not ignore the message," so this becomes a shared vow. In part 3, we'll deepen endurance, how to stay awake when the message is heavy or delayed. We'll explore Ibn Arabi's counsel on contraction and expansion. Endurance is the secret that separates a brief awakening from a life that stays awake. Most people ignore the divine message not because it is unclear, but because it asks for a kind of staying power that our habits do not support. Ibn Arabi calls this the station of no stationer, way of being steady without clinging to any single mood, sweetness, or sorrow. You are not trying to freeze last night's light or outrun today's heaviness. You are practicing a courtesy that remains available to the real in all weather. Think of a lantern carried through shifting winds. You adjust your hand, you shield the flame, but you keep walking. Tonight, we learn that art, the quiet heroism of returning, and returning without drama. With hardship comes ease. Surely, with hardship comes ease is more than comfort. It is a pattern training your perception to look through the knot for the opening that already accompanies it. Q94-56. When the day tightens around you, consider that ease may not mean removal, but a new capacity. Patience where you had only resistance, clarity where you had only heat. Endurance is not white-knuckling. It is learning to cooperate with the mercy embedded in limits. The question shifts from "why is this happening?" to "how is ease arriving with this, and how do I greet it?" The divine message often rides in on the same horse as the difficulty, and you learn to recognize the rider by the fruit: humility, tenderness, wiser action. Sufi masters name 2 winds that visit the heart: contraction cabbed and expansion bast. In contraction, prayer feels dry, conversations feel scratchy, and your ego wants to force results. In expansion, gratitude hums, insights arrive, and your speech softens. Ibn Arabi advises a stance deeper than either. Bind yourself to the giver who alternates them, not to the state itself. Al-Futahat, Al-Makniya. Courtesy in contraction looks like shortening your practice but sweetening your tone. Courtesy in expansion looks like thanking without boasting, serving without announcing. You become, in his language, a barzak, a bridge that keeps both shores in view, steady in the middle, faithful in both directions. Consider a traveler whose teacher keeps breaking what looks useful and repairing what seems ruined. Moses, walking with Kidda, encountered a scuttled boat, a slain youth, and a wall raised for strangers. Each scene offended his surface reading, and yet each turned out to shield a deeper mercy and timing. Endurance learns this grammar in daily life. A cancelled meeting that angers you may be saving you from a rash commitment. A critique that stings may be sanding a roughness you don't yet feel. Your task is not to invent meaning, but to refuse hasty judgment long enough for the message to show its second face. The Quran preserves that journey so impatience can be unlearned in us as well. It teaches that what looks like a break can be a repair, and what looks like delay can be a perfect alignment to come QP. Ibn Arabi takes the lesson further. There is no repetition in self-disclosure, takra fitajali. So today's boat, youth, and war will not look like yesterday's. Endurance is therefore a living attention, not a formula. When the form arrives, honor it. When the meaning hints, receive it. When the response becomes clear, move one step. Repeat this rhythm until it engraves itself into your nerves. Make endurance practical by crafting a cadence that protects your flame. Choose a weekly rhythm, 2 short night watches and 1 deeper vigil. Keep the triad you learn it form, meaning, responsion, a single page for the week, rather than scattered notes. You are training your heart to see continuity across days. Add 1 more line, fruit. Did your response yield more humility, clarity, or compassion? If not, adjust tomorrow. Abu Madian, the great Maghribi master, used to say, "The beginning of the path is patience, the end is gratitude." Let your cadence convert patience into gratitude by making your progress observable, modest, and real. Dryness will visit, and with it the fear that you made all this up. Ibn Arabi's distinction helps. Fantasy entertains the self, the imaginal educates the soul. In dryness, the imaginal often shifts from images to virtues. No fireworks, just a nudge to keep a promise, repair a word, return a kindness. Junaid called such sobriety the way of people whose feet are on the ground while their hearts are with the real. If color fades, trust the outline. Sit for less time, but with more sincerity. Speak fewer words, but with more kindness. Ask fewer questions, but with deeper listening. The education is happening in your fiber. When the heaviness is not just dry, but drowning, borrowed the prayer of a prophet swallowed by darkness. There is no God but you. Glory be to you. Indeed, I was among the wrongdoers ke bain tuna or chinti siti. Ibn Arabi would call this the adab of the abyss. Affirm the one, praise the one, own your part. This threefold courtesy breaks the spell of panic and realigns you with the real's nearness. In practice, whisper the prayer once to unhook from self-justification, once to soften the heart, once to ask for a wise next step. Often the next step is very small: sleep, water, a message sent, an apology made. Endurance loves small doors. Relationships are the home field where endurance proves itself. Unity of being does not dissolve edges. It sees through them with mercy. Try this in your hardest conversation this week. Breathe al-halam, the forbearing, before you speak, and aim for a clear boundary delivered without spikes. Ibn Arabi writes that the perfect human is to creation as the spirit is to the body, animating without domination. Al-Futahat. Translate that into your tone. You can be firm without heat, tender without collapse. If you fail, return. The failure itself becomes a messenger asking for a cleaner try. Do not endure alone. Companionship multiplies stamina. Find one friend who is also practicing and exchange one message a day following the triad. Keep each other honest about fruit. Share brief stories from the path. Rabia, walking with her torch and bucket to purify motives. Shibli laughing at his own pretensions so they lose their teeth. Let your small circle become a mirror, because Ibn Arabi reminds us that the real is the mirror in which you see yourself, and you are his mirror. Paraphrase. Fuses al-Hikam. When you reflect one another kindly, the divine message grows louder than the old noise. We close this part standing on a threshold. You have learned to stay with the message when it's heavy, to read contraction and expansion, to find fruit in small obediences, to bring endurance into work and love. In the final part, we will braid everything into a single way of living so that you no longer visit wakefulness but carry it. If this series is serving you, tap subscribe now so you don't miss the last chapter, and so this circle can reach those still sleeping. Tonight, the divine message stops being an event and becomes your way of being. You have learned to notice the whisper, to translate friction into guidance, to endure contraction without panic and expansion without pride. Now we braid everything into a single temperament, clear, tender, and brave, so you can carry wakefulness across commutes and conversations, budgets and bedtimes. Ibn Arabi says there is no repetition in self-disclosure. Each instant bears a fresh address, so our aim is not to preserve a peak, but to cultivate a capacity. The capacity is courtesy, to the moment, to the name shining through it, to the person standing before you, and to the one within you who is learning to listen. Scripture counsels a humane cadence. God knows that you will stand in prayer some of the night. So recite what is easy and establish prayer. Give and seek forgiveness. Q 73-20. This is not a call to exhaustion. It is a blueprint for sustainability. Let the night train your attention. Let the day prove your love. Before you step into your tasks, give the morning 60 silent seconds to remember the name that visited in the night. If it was as a salam, begin as a maker of peace. If it was Al-Hakim, let wisdom govern your first decision. These are not theatrics, they are fidelity. The message is not satisfied with being admired, it wants to be enacted. Ibn Arabi's unity of being becomes practical when you live as a barzak, a bridge that honors both shores. In a tense meeting, you feel your own pulse and you sense the name in the other. You keep your spine from collapsing and your tone from hardening. In a family disagreement, you refuse the cheap victory of winning and seek the durable victory of understanding. The places of manifestation are as numerous as the breaths. Ibn Arabi writes in the Futuhat, your task is to recognize the name appearing here and now, not in the abstract. You are not dissolving differences. You are perceiving meaning within them, so that justice and gentleness can be true companions. Carry your pocket triad into everything: form, meaning, response, and add the fourth line, you learned it. Form, what happened without spin, meaning, the name you sense is active. Response, one small obedience that cooperates with that name. Fruit, note whether humility, clarity, or compassion grew. At work, form team pushed back, meaning all adult, a call to fair process. Response, clarify goals, invite dissent, protect timelines without contempt. Fruitless fear in the room, cleaner agreements. In love, form, I spoke sharply, meaning Araman, mercy calling. Response, apologize, repair, fruit, soft eyes, restored trust. This is wakefulness in motion. As the message grows constant, ethics become luminous rather than heavy. God commands justice, excellence, and giving to relatives, and forbids indecency, wrongdoing, and aggression. Q 16-90. Ibn Arabi would ask you to read this not only as a law, but as an unveiling of names. Al-Adl, a listen. ARF, working through your choices. Do your emails bear justice in their clarity? Does your planning honor excellence without cruelty? Does your spending remember generosity as a form of worship? The religion of love is not vague sentiment. It is a trained responsiveness that makes the ordinary merciful and exact. Your imaginal faculty now becomes a workshop for creativity that serves love. The Sheikh Al-Akbar often insists that meanings seek forms. Offer forms that help people breathe. If you write, let last night's symbol seed a paragraph that dignifies your reader. If you design, let Al-Latif subtlety clean your cluttered layout. If you lead, let AR of gentleness shape your meeting's opening minute, and Al-Qawi strength shape its decisions. Keep the fruit test close. If the form you offer increases humility, clarity, and compassion, it is good service. If it inflates you or fogs the room, try again. The imaginal is not an escape hatch, it is a tool bench. Obstacles will keep visiting: pride that wants applause, hurry that erases nuance, heaviness that says what's the use. Treat each as a veil that can be turned into a teacher. Ibn Arabi's counsel is to polish, not to punish. Polish the mirror of the heart with remembrance, he teaches in the Futuhat, until it shows the face without distortion. Rabia's famous torch and bucket reminds you to cleanse your motives. Serve so love remains the engine, not fear of loss or hope of status. Let hidden acts anchor you. One kindness unposted, one gift anonymous, one apology offered without explanation. Hiddenness heals the eye that wants to perform. Community multiplies your steadiness. Find two companions who will trade daily triads by message, form, meaning, response, fruit. Keep each other aligned with love's metrics. Share the old stories that keep the path warm, Uwais al-Qurani, unknown to the famous, honoring his mother and becoming a compass for the known. Bayezid, laughing at his own pretenses, so they die laughing. Ibn Arabi says in the Fuses that the real is your mirror and you are his. When you reflect one another kindly, the message grows louder than habit. Agreement is not required. Companionship is. Remember how near the teacher is. When my servants ask you concerning me, indeed I am near. I answered the call of the caller when he calls upon me. Que las 2:18 Nearness means the classroom is open at the sink, the steering wheel, the grocery line. Call, and then behave like one who expects an answer. Slow your next sentence. Look for the smallest obedience. Seal it with gratitude. The answer may be a softened jaw, a timing shift, a word withheld. Answers are often quieter than questions, but their fruit lasts. Here is a covenant to carry this forward. For 30 days, practice the triad with fruit twice daily. Once a week, review your notes. Circle the names that recur. Underline actions that bore durable fruit. Each week, choose one service that stretches love in publica, mended rift, a generous refund, a listening hour with someone lonely. Once a month, retreat for one evening, light a candle. Read a page of Ibn Arabi Tarjuman al-Ashwaq for love, Fuses for wisdom, Futuhat for breadth, and ask the message to choose one line to walk for 7 days. This is not a sprint. It is a friendship, maturing. We close where we began. Most people ignore this divine message and stay spiritually asleep. Not because the message hides, but because the door to hearing is small and daily. You have learned to find that door, to open it with courtesy, and to carry its light into traffic and tenderness. Ibn Arabi has walked with unity of being as perception, love as knowledge, the imaginal as translation, the perfect human as service. If this series woke something in you, keep it awake. Share this with a friend who is ready to listen. Comment with the one divine name you will carry into tomorrow. Save this for your next quiet hour, and subscribe so we can keep learning to read together. May your life become a listening so faithful that every breath says, "Here I am," and every step answers, "I will not ignore the message."